What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Butters Spin, and today we are a little late, but we are opening the Zest Achilles set. Fantastic. It does come with 2 whole Beyblades, a gear for Divine Belial, and this little layer. We did get this late because of a mix-up at the post office, but here we are. We're opening this, so let's go and see if they spin. But before we continue, leave us a like if you've been enjoying this series, and consider subscribing not to lose any future videos of Butters Spin. So are you ready? Let's go. So here we go, we do have everything out of the box, and it is a lot of things, I'll give you that. So let's talk about the tool first. This of course is the tool that used to come with Spriggan, and it lets you, let me try to focus on that, and it does lets you change the direction of the Spriggan chip, of the Hello Kitty chip, and now the Achilles chip. You do have to take the core out, and then you switch it with this. So, you know, if you've been collecting for a while, you probably do have a bunch of these. I do have a bunch of these, even just from Dynamite. But yeah, always nice to have in case you don't have the other Beyblades. That said, now let's move on to the A gear, which is fantastic. I do like this quite a bit. That said, A gear is only compatible with the Divine Blade, not with Dynamite and nor with Dangerous. But you know, it is what it is. You can put this in 2 different directions. It goes under the Divine Blade. So we're gonna put that on a little later. You can either put it lined up with this, with his wings, his attack points, or like that. So it either makes it 6 blades or 3 blade mode, right? So you know, that is pretty interesting to see. We'll take a look at that later. It is a nice improvement for the Divine, which specifically for it, we only have the D gear and now the A gear. For now, what we have is just this 2. Now let's get into the Beyblades themselves. As you can see, we only get 2 full Beyblades and 1 odd part over there. But you know, let's talk about the ones that are complete first. This is Zest Achilles. And like I said, since I am pretty late, I'm not gonna talk about all the 48 modes. Yes, you can change this into 48 modes. We're not going to talk about all 48 of them because I feel like everyone has done so already. So I think I would just be making this video longer for no reason at all. I wouldn't be adding anything to that. So what we're going to do in this video is that we're going to test it out the way it is, the way it comes, at least for the blade and the chip. So we're going to test it out in this mode that it is in right now. It is right spinning, and it does have a pretty big attack point, might I say, here, and it's pretty round everywhere else. I guess it does do a smash attack here, but then a very big one here. And yeah, not much to say about that. It is pretty solid. Very cool that it is very round as well, so I do like that quite a bit. Being round and then having this one red part that sticks out for the hitting part does remind me a lot of Judgment Joker, except for this isn't a rubber part, this is plastic. So, you know, it would be a pretty cool smash attack. I do like the colors very much. I do like all the stickers that I put on. They do look fantastic. I do like it quite a bit. And it's interesting that it does have this Z part for Zest, but it does seem like the S for Spriggan, right? The whole directional change as well. I think that's pretty cool and interesting that it took that from Spriggan, but you know, it is super cool. The armor that comes with it is a 4, which we did take a look on volume 30. It does have 4 points of weight. It is very symmetrical. It is pretty nice, and you can use it in pretty much any Dynamite Battle Beyblades. That is what I had to say about that. And the forge disc that came with it is an illegal, which is fantastic. It is very round. It is very reminiscent of the over disc, but it does have 4 holes on it. So it does keep most of its weight towards the outside, which is fantastic for stamina generation and for balance. And because it is so smooth and round, it does help a lot with life after death. Fantastic, fantastic. And the driver that came with it is a Quattro Dash. Fantastic. The Astro Spriggan did come with a Quattro, so it's not only the directional change and the flipping of the blade, but also the Quattro driver. But it is Dash, so it is better. Because it is Dash, it does have more prominent plastic prongs, but it also have a golden spring inside, which is stronger and better. So it does provide more resistance to burst. And not only that, but it does have 4 points here, hence Quattro. Quattro is Italian and Portuguese and Spanish for 4. So as you can see, if you push below here, it does push the tip forward, and then you can change its modes. This is more of a balance type. You can see that it does have like a tiny tip on that, and then the rubber around it, which is reminiscent of the early Spriggan tips. This has a free spinning ball, so it is defensive, as we know. Because it is metal, it does have less friction, but because it is a ball, it does have more surface area and whatnot, and it keeps going. So it is defensive type. This, of course, is an attack type because it is flat and rubbery, so it will be very aggressive. And the flat is pretty wide, so it will be quite aggressive. So that is an attack type. And at the end, of course, we do have a pointy stamina metal tip. We might leave it on this one because that's what Spriggan used to have back in the days. So why not? Let's go with that. And now for the chain phoenix, you can see it is such a beautiful coloring. Very cool, like a dark phoenix kind of deal with another purple flames. Very cool, very cool. It's like a corrupted phoenix that has been chained down because of its corruption. So that's pretty cool. The blade, of course, is a chain. It is a right spinning defense type blade. And of course, because the chip isn't Kerbeus, these chains, they don't go in. They are just out here for the impact. So it is a lot of counterattacks there. It is mostly counterattacks. So that's fantastic. The finished chip, of course, does have some metal on it, as you can see. So it does add a little bit of weight to the Beyblade, and that is always fantastic. The disc that comes with it is a Fortress, which is always nice. It is a hexagonal disc. It is fairly heavy, not the heaviest, but it does have 6 points of weight on it. And with the spacing on it, you can see that it does have a lot of outward weight on it, which, like I said, it does help with the generation of stamina and balance. So it is fantastic. And though I said it is hexagonal, you can see that it is kind of round. So it's not too bad in life after death. Of course, it's not that great, but it's also not too bad. As you can see, it's not too smooth, but it can still help out. The driver that came with it is a Never, which I always like, but it is a metal tip. It did come very oxidized for whatever reason, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it is pretty cool. As you know, the Never is a stamina type driver. It does have a free spinning tip right there, which is great. It does have a POM piece surrounding it, so it will have less friction with the arena when it comes into contact with the arena. It is very short, it is very light. You can see it does have some holes on it to make it lighter. If you launch it parallel to the arena, it will spin quite well on the stamina tip. When it tips over, when it gets knocked over, this POM part does help it keep moving and going around. I do love the Never. I do think it's fantastic. But yeah, it's very cool. It is interesting that it is a metal, so it will give more resistance to burst. But the metal prongs are not prominent anymore because it was damaging the teeth, right? That said, it does give more resistance to burst than the Dash itself. Now to the odd one out. It is a hollow Ragnarok. Fantastic. And it does come with 1D chassis, which is a left and right chassis. Fantastic. They are in the golden coloring. I do like that quite a bit. The 1D chassis isn't too bad. It is more defensive type, I guess. It is very symmetrical, so it's pretty good. The Ragnarok chip doesn't have any gimmicks, I think. It's just a standard chip with a plastic center as well, so doesn't add any weight. But the ring is a hollow, which does have a metal piece here and more plastic here, as you can see. So it will be a little asymmetrical. It will be a little disbalanced. It will carry the weight harder on here. That said, it does have a metal piece here as well. It's just that it will be doing different kinds of attacks. It is a right spinning one, so it will have a crazy smash attack here, a smash attack there, another smash attack here, a very strong smash attack here, but then it is very smooth over here, some counters, and then going back to that strong smash attack there. It is an attack type blade. It is an interesting blade to say the least, but it is what it is. It is a sparking base, so it is a different system than the other two, and it's interesting that they only gave us this part and nothing else. So we will be using parts that are not from this set to complete this Beyblade. And the thing is, the only things that we have spare is actually from the Spriggan customized set. The Spriggan customized set, they did give us some extra parts that we didn't need and that we didn't use, and they just happen to be golden as well. We do have the golden Blitz, and we do have golden yellowish Survive metal. Interestingly enough, these are the only parts we didn't use from that set, and they happen to be golden yellow, which happens to be the color scheme of this. So I'm wondering if Takara Tomy kind of wanted us to use this. I don't know, but this stuff is what we will be using on it to make a battle in this video. I don't know if it will be a good combo, but it is what it is. I think Takara Tomy, they do take into consideration several things, several steps ahead. So I think this can't really be just a coincidence, yeah? So yeah, this will be the combos that we will be using. These are the parts. So let's assemble our Beyblades, test them out, and of course, battle them against each other. And that's it, folks. We did have a few surprises there. Zest Achilles, he did do pretty well. He did lose to a few. What I was most surprised about in this set was, of course, Hollow Ragnarok. Even though these parts didn't come with the set, but like I said, they are all golden that we did have left over from the Spriggan set. I do think that perhaps Takara Tomy wanted us to use it with this, to have this golden combo, and it did a lot better than I expected it would. Of course, it is a sparking, so it is slightly lighter than the Dynamite battle, especially against the Burst Ultimate ones. So he was getting thrown around a little, but he did hold his own quite a bit. He did win a few. I do think it was fantastic. He did send others flying around with his monstrous attacks, so that was fantastic. I think that was probably one of my favorites. World Spriggan did come in the middle, and he did fight against the Sparking and against the Spriggan Pretender, but he did lose. He was a lot lighter, I guess. He wasn't as heavy and his attacks weren't as strong as the monstrous Zest Achilles, so he did lose to him. But yeah, that's what I had to show you. Take the conclusions you like from that. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to see more videos like this. Obviously, we are focusing more on Beyblades, but we also do show all sorts of things that spin around. So if you're interested in stuff like that, I'll see you next time, and until then, stay nerdy, guys.